Well, good evening. I've spent the last 30 years in the federal government, and one thing I've realized is the government can really make things overly bureaucratic and complex. And sometimes the simple solution is the right one, right? So I'm wondering, are there times where, say, a whole bunch of stupid things are better than a few smart ones? And I'm pretty sure that if I'm a first responder coming onto a scene like this, I could use 100,000 advanced scouts to help me out, even if they're, quote, dumb, right? So done correctly, maybe 100,000 simple sensors can operate more effectively than one of these or even 100 of these. And so we're working at the Air Force Academy to take this cyclorotor and shrink it down into a small drone that would fit into the size of the palm of your hand. And then we would like to make a swarm of these that would act like a colony of insects and go out and perform some kind of complex mission. The key, however, is to get the lift vectors from each of these wings to orient as they rotate. As you can imagine, each one of these wings is like an airplane wing, and it creates lift, but as they rotate, that lift vector changes. And so what we need to do is to make sure and control those through some kind of patented CAM mechanism, which we've done. And so the resultant lift vector through our invention will allow us to make sure that we can control that flight in a very stable manner. We've proved the initial concept, and if successful, we're going to be faster, cheaper, and quieter than anything out there. So if we think of a quad rotor that you'd find in the store to be like a hawk or a bird of prey, this thing could be like a hummingbird, smaller and even more dynamic. And it's not just for first responders, but we can go into the toy industry. So my advantage here is I look different. I can sell 4 in a pack, and I can have these things operate in concert, or I can fly them in a single ship formation. Best of all, like Legos, I can connect them in multiples to make larger and larger motherships that can carry heavier and heavier payloads. So I can't carry a GoPro camera here, but I certainly can carry one there. And you can buy, wait, don't buy yet, you can buy an RF toy gun, and you could have 3 red hummingbirds, I could have 3 green, and if we shoot one of them, it would stop and hover. And the game is the first to get theirs to hover in space wins. So we've done a lot of work, and it's actually going well, but there's a lot of work to be done. And so I need folks like Dr. Larson and his team at Mine Rocket, or others out there, to try to figure out how we can move this to the next stage. We don't need money at the Air Force Academy. What we need is for you to take this as a community and advance it, because we have a mission to do so. There's something called technology transfer legislation that demands that we take the intellectual property at the Air Force Academy and get it out into the community for economic development and job creation. In fact, technology transfer is one of the 4 cornerstones of the Air Force Academy's $55 million research program. Of course, we try to enhance our cadet education, our faculty, to support the warfighter, but we have this responsibility to also reach out to you. And it goes beyond the cyclorotor into domains like airspace and cyber. And for space, for example, we design, build, and launch our own satellites to include the instrumentation that goes on them. But we're much more than just engineers. We also look at cross-domain disciplines, and we try to integrate the humanities and social sciences with the engineering, because that's where the crossroads of these disciplines really create innovation and entrepreneurship. That's sort of the main philosophy behind this core concept of our newest venture, Air Force CyberWorks, where we take cadets and we integrate them with all of you, industry, academia, military, in order to bring that cognitive diversity to what we're trying to do. Because in these domains, air and space, those we can spend billions of dollars and spend a decade on. But right now, there's 2 overly caffeinated UCCS students out there who are going to determine the next disruptive cyber technology, and it's going to happen tonight. And so we're trying to learn from Dr. Larson and his team about design thinking and bring in that innovation and that spirit and that mindset in order to change the government. But that's not easy, right? So we have a long way to go. And one thing we're focused on is not only bringing in a new culture, but also in delivering product to the community. And so I think that's my time, that's my message. I hope you'll join me in this venture, and thanks so much.